We just had, right next door to our city here in Bethel, we had a huge No Kings protest here. They're happening all across the country. There's minimal violence in all of these, at least as we're seeing reported. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that it is a sign of federal overstepping, or how do you say that the population is kind of speaking out about this and using the First Amendment?
Well, I would imagine that my good friend and I might disagree on this, and so you guys are ruining our bromance that we have here. But,
apologies.
But look, I mean, it is important for people to be able to voice their opinions. The Tea Party movement did it during the Obama administration. We had the conservative movement uprise during the Clinton administration. And so it's important for people to voice their opinions around the way that their government is running. Right now, a poll that was released yesterday in Washington Post showed that 63% of Americans feel like we're on the wrong path in terms of the country going in the wrong direction. And you know, you've got the cost of student loans going up, which is really important, and now the federal government's going to sell off their student loan portfolios. So your loan balances to private lenders, the cost of hamburger helper going up, which is a sign that the economy is in decline. But I will also say this, and going back to the question around the theatrical piece, character does matter. And so we do want people who care to run for office. And I can say, I think George W. Bush cared, I think Mitt Romney cared, I think John McCain cared, I think Democrats who they ran against cared. But character matters in terms of how we speak to people, of how we engage with people, of how we treat our fellow person. And that's something that you'll obviously see with people who are public servants like Seth Bronko and myself, but I don't necessarily see that on the federal level anymore. And that's concerning to me, and it would be concerning to me if it were a Democrat, much less a Republican. And so while we do want more, we want less polished people to be able to get elected to office, we do want people who have the character and the decency, and that's missing in every office and in many offices across the country. It doesn't matter whether it's Congress, Senate, the White House, state legislature. We need people to recommit to that civility in some form or fashion.
Yeah. Would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, he brings up a good point, because one of the challenges that I think we face now is just candidate recruitment.
Yeah.
So many people seeing the public discourse. It is not easy to put your name on a ballot, to get elected by a whole group of people, when you know as soon as you're elected, half the people are going to hate you for no good reason other than the letter after your name. And that's what you're volunteering for. And it's unfortunate, and it's something I hope that we can begin to turn the tide on, but it's the reality of today. And so finding those good people of character, I've talked to far more people than I'd care to count who would be fantastic elected officials that want no part of getting involved because they don't want to subject themselves to that torture. And again, that goes back to finding good people that will serve, and it's a challenge. I don't quite know how we overcome it, but I do hope it's something that can change.
Especially, I mean, as both sitting co-chairs of the Future Caucus, you guys kind of have that through point of, we are looking to build a better tomorrow. We're looking to try and bridge a lot of the political division, which we've seen, again, multiple times, kind of really at a tipping point as of late. It feels more divided than ever, although I'm sure everybody always feels that way. What are some key points you guys feel we'd be able to hit on with the Future Caucus in terms of kind of repairing the political dissonance that we've seen here?
Well, I think that there are issues that we all care about. You know, Seth and I agree on a lot of issues. I agree with many of my Republican colleagues on a lot of issues. I think in terms of how we implement those issues and execute them and what the final product is the disagreeing part. But we find a way to have some kind of common ground to better sell the good work that we're doing in the legislature. And look, here's the thing. We have leadership members, we have leaders in leadership, either the speaker, the majority leader, minority leader, who care really deeply about making sure Republican bills, even though they're in the deep minority, making sure, and that was not what the kids called shade, but making it proves my point coming up, but making sure that Republican bills are heard and Republican legislation is passed, and that there are compromises on good Democratic bills as well, because we are truly bipartisan in Connecticut on a number of issues, and people fail to realize that. I think not only are the issues important, and that's how we can galvanize people, move people forward, but also just saying, you know what, I may not agree with everything on that issue, or I may not agree with how the opposite party is handling this particular situation, but I'm going to come together with other like-minded young people who are in elected office to say, how can we handle this in a civil way? And it's worked for us. It's harder to get people together right now, but it's worked for us, at least on issues that we care about.